What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. I don't know what this world is gonna hate, but I know one thing. This is the life for me. Baby, cause I'm a thug all day, every day. Baby, cause I'm a thug, wouldn't change for the world. Baby, cause I'm a thug, that's why you heard. Baby, cause I'm a thug, oh, 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 yeah. Baby, cause I'm a thug, I don't know what this world is gonna hate. Yeah, Trick Daddy from Miami, Florida, the Sunshine State, aka South Beach, as he was able to cross over with that song right there. You know, the pioneer of rap in the city of Miami is Luke Skywalker, Two Live Crew, Me So Horny. They was the first rap group to blow it up and get big coming out of the Sunshine State. But Trick Daddy took it to that next level. As I said, he took it and then crossed over with it. Like I said, they played it not only on R&B and rap radio station, but they played it also on pop radio station. As he was able to take Miami and take it to that next level. That was the city that hosted Floyd Mayweather Jr., aka Money May, went the distance to the surprise of many up against YouTube sensation and YouTube superstar Logan Paul. The first two rounds I gave to Paul. He did a good job. He was able to keep Floyd Mayweather at bay with the jab, and he rocked Mayweather to the surprise of many. Rocked him. Mayweather, with his vast experience, was able to cover up, keep the high guard up, and take a lot of those shots off the glove after he was rocked. But that round, especially the first round, went to Logan Paul. He's able to stake his claim as, look, I ain't here to be no punching bag. I ain't here to just be a stooge. And basically, for you to showcase your skills and embarrass me and show, like you said before the fight, a difference between elite boxing and YouTube boxing. I'm here to tell you that I do have boxing skills. I ain't just no run-of-the-mill fighter just jumping in the ring and basically ain't got no skill, ain't got no technique. Logan Paul showed that in that first round. The second round, I thought he won that too. He's able to keep Mayweather at bay again with the jab. He was able to control the distance of the fight. You know, Mayweather tried to get inside. He started to try to close the distance, but he was still kind of hesitant because he had got rocked in that first round. So he didn't just want to kick in the front door and come through unannounced. You know, when you do that, you got to worry about a gun on the other side of that door when you do kick the door in and they start firing on your ass. So you got to be careful. You got to make sure ain't nobody home. And that's what Mayweather did in that second round. He wanted to make sure it wasn't nobody home if he kicked in that front door. So he was kind of hesitant in that second round. And Logan Paul won that second round. But Mayweather does what he always do. Made the adjustment and he started to walk him down. He started to slip the jab. He basically took the jab away from Logan Paul. Logan Paul started firing that jab out. Mayweather, with his great head movement, basically took that away, nullified the jab, and he was able to get inside. He started catching him with some short, accurate shots to the body. He started to catch him with the right hand. He started catching him with that left hook. But I think he was trying to basically knock him out with that left hook because I think he figured that, okay, Logan Paul probably watched some film on me. They know I have a beautiful straight right hand. That's my signature punch. And they're going to be looking for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to catch him with that left hook. They don't know I have a great left hook also to go with that right hand. I'm not no one-handed fighter. And Mayweather was trying to catch him with that left hook from round 3 on. But he could never catch him to the point. Excuse me. He could never catch him to the point where he could ultimately do a lot of damage and possibly stop Logan Paul. Logan Paul showed a high boxing IQ, especially for a guy in his second fight, man. He showed a guy that is a quick learner, fast learner. He learned a lot of things in the gym. And he basically was wary of that right hand. And then when he saw Mayweather was trying to sit him with the left hook, man, he did a good job of, when he did get caught, he didn't get caught with it enough to, stop him. He got caught with that left hook some times in that fight. He got kind of busted up. He had a couple of, cherries up under the eye. I'll say that. He had a couple of cherries up under the eye. He had some swelling under the eye. He took some damage, but he did a good job of tying Mayweather up, leaning on him, using his weight on Mayweather. And that basically took a lot of steam out of Mayweather punches. But again, Mayweather did a good job of making an adjustment after round 2 because I thought he lost the first 2 rounds, and he pretty much swept through the last 6 rounds. I had him winning the fight 6 rounds to 2. But the victory is all Logan Paul because he made it to the distance. Conor McGregor didn't make it to the distance. Conor McGregor got knocked out. That's an MMA fighter. That's a guy that was at that time the top fighter in the MMA. That guy was one of the best stand-up fighters in the MMA. So he's a guy that had a background in boxing, and Mayweather stopped him. Now that was what, 2-3 years ago, but still that guy was more experienced fighter than Logan Paul, who was in his second fight. And his first fight was against a fellow YouTuber in KSI, a fight that a lot of people thought he might have won. It was a close fight. I thought he didn't land the more damaging punches. He landed more punches, but KSI, who was kind of wild, man, he real wild, actually. Ain't no kind of wild. He's real wild. He was throwing a lot of wild shots. He was landing a lot of those shots, though, and those were the more eye-popping shots. He was able to win a split decision. But from that point on, it seems like Logan Paul's done a lot of improvement, man. He does a good job of using that jab and controlling distance. He was able to keep Mayweather at bay, especially in the first 2 rounds. Now, Mayweather was able, again, to walk him down. He was able to take away the jab. He was able to catch him with some nice little short shots to the body. And he started to catch him with the left hook at times. But still, that wasn't enough to stop Logan Paul, as he was able to get that moral victory and go 8 rounds with TBE, the best ever, Floyd Mayweather Jr. Now, I'm going to talk about the fight of the night. Mayweather won the fight, but they didn't have no judges, so it wasn't no declared winner. So, you know, they had switched from 16-ounce gloves to 10-ounce gloves. Mayweather said he wanted 8-ounce gloves, and they was able to settle down on, somebody said it was 12-ounce gloves, but I think they ended up settling down on 10-ounce gloves. Either way, it was 10 or 12-ounce gloves. They were able to get a smaller glove, so you could tell Mayweather was looking for the knockout. You could tell that by how he fought. You know, he was trying to get inside. He was walking Logan down. He was putting the pressure on him. He was throwing hard shots. He was sitting down on a lot of his punching. But again, he's just not the same fighter. And Floyd Mayweather, you're doing a good thing. You said you retired. You're not fighting any real fighter. You fighting exhibition fights. And that's a good thing because from what I seen tonight, you know, you can't beat none of the top welterweights. You know, you getting there with Errol Spence Jr., Chance Bud Crawford, you know, any of those guys. Right now, man, I'm going to tell you something. You know, people might get mad at me. He can't beat Manny Pacquiao right now. Nah. Not the Manny Pacquiao that fought Keith Thurman. He can't beat him. You know, he beat him when they fought, so that is what it is. He did beat him when they fought, so everybody was looking forward to that fight. That was the fight of the century during that time, and Mayweather made it look easy, beat him. But I'm talking about right now, Mayweather can't beat Manny Pacquiao. He can't beat him. Because, like I said, when I was watching the fight, he in position to land the shots, but he just could not get the shots off. He could not land those shots. That let me know that Father Time has tapped him on his shoulder because he was in position. A lot of times, like he caught him with some left hooks, but he's in position to really catch him with some shots. And he was in a position when Logan Paul was trying to tie him up. Right before he tied him up, he could just took a step back and then bam, caught him with that straight right hand. It seemed like he was trying to catch him in between the midst of him trying to grab. He was trying to catch him right in that probably pretty much that no man's land where, all right, I'm going to try to lunge at you and grab you. If he could have took a little step back and caught him with that right hand, he could have did that. It seemed like he was trying to do that, but he just wasn't able to pull that trigger, man. Like I said, he's not the same fighter, man. He was there in position to land a lot of damaging shots, but he could not pull it off. And that was what's really stuck in my mind when I watched that fight, man. But Mayweather, with his boxing IQ and just his vast boxing experience, was able to do a lot of things and pretty much take over the fight after the 3rd round. But he did not get the stoppage. And that's something that a lot of people are going to talk about, especially when you're fighting a boxing novice, a guy that's only in his 2nd fight. Really his 1st fight, because he's fighting a real boxer. That 1st fight he fought a fellow YouTuber in KSI. So you can't really say that's a professional fight. You got 2 novice fighting. Now you're taking a big step up fighting one of the best fighters of the generation. Even though, in my opinion, he's past his prime, he's still a guy that's very experienced and a guy that knows all the tricks of the trade, and he was able to last 8 rounds. So that's kudos for Logan Paul. So we will see what will be his next move. We will see what will be Floyd Mayweather Jr. next move. But, you know, it was an interesting fight, to say the least. A lot of people said it was boring. You know, people want to see a knockout, but people said that in a lot of Mayweather fights. Oh, it was boring. It's boring. But he's not a knockout artist. He's a guy that you got to understand. You got to be a guy that loves the sweet science of boxing. If you love the sweet science of boxing, you're going to love to watch Floyd Mayweather Jr. But if you got a guy that wants to see some rock-'em, sock-'em robot fighting, some blood, sweat, and tears, you know, guys eating punches and taking punches and throwing punches and landing punches and a back and forth type of phone booth type of fight, then you're not gonna like to watch Floyd Mayweather Jr. fight, man. He's not gonna be your cup of tea. That's just not only for the night, but that's for his whole career, basically. You know, especially since he went from pretty boy Floyd Mayweather to money Mayweather. You know, pretty boy Floyd Mayweather was much more exciting. He was a guy that let his hands go before he had those hand issues. He was a guy that was a seek and destroy type of guy. So, you know, you probably would have enjoyed him more earlier in his career than you did in the latter part of his career. That's neither here nor there, but the fight of the night was Luis Arias versus Jarrett Hurd. Man, that was a great fight. Both guys laid it on the line. Both guys, kudos, salute to both of you guys as you guys put it down for that fight. But that fight there saved the card, because outside of that fight, wasn't nothing to write home about. Like I said, the Floyd Mayweather Jr., you know, he didn't get the stoppage, which was disappointing to say the least. And then Chad Johnson fought the first fight. You know, he fought a bad knuckle guy named Dawson, I think his name was. And Chad Johnson got knocked out, but he didn't look that bad for his first fight. He was moving around and things. He caught him with a right hand early in that fight, rocked Dawson. But he got caught lunging in with a left hand. And I was telling my homeboy, the sports boy, I say, man, he backing up with his chin up. Man, he got to quit doing that. When that dude throwing his punches, he's going straight back with his hands up, and that dude going to catch him. And that's exactly what happened in that fourth round. That's exactly what happened in that fourth round, as Chad Johnson came in with a left hook, he missed. And as Chad Johnson was trying to counter that punch, he went straight back with his chin up, and Dawson caught him right before he was able to get out of distance. Bam! Caught him, dropped him real bad. He was in bad shape. Dawson really could have knocked him out, but Dawson kind of eased up on him. You know, it was an exhibition fight. It wasn't no official fight, so Dawson kind of didn't really jump on him. Dawson just kind of, you know, still was boxing with him and stuff like that. He didn't really press the gas on him, because that boy Chad Johnson was badly hurt. Chad Johnson was badly hurt. Ocho Cinco was on wobbly legs. He was hurt bad. You know what I'm saying? What they used to say back in the day, he was on Queer Street. He was hurt real bad. Real bad. But he did make it to 4 rounds, and he didn't do a bad job his first 4 rounds. You know, before that fight, I was like, man, if Chad Johnson looked good, maybe they could set up a fight between him and Jake Paul. If Jake Paul gets past Tyron Woodley. But after watching Chad Johnson fight this fight, nah, he's not ready for Jake Paul. Jake Paul will sleep him. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Jake Paul will sleep Chad Johnson. He will sleep him. He will Ben Askren him for sure. He's not ready, but I don't know if he's trying to do this as a serious about becoming a boxer, a professional boxer. He just was doing this as far as, as an entertainment, like celebrity boxing or something. I don't know what his plans is, but he definitely needs to get back in the gym and work on his trade and try to improve his skills. But he didn't do a bad job. He did much better than Nate Robinson did. I say that. He did much better than him, but he definitely needs some more experience, because he's very green. And right now, I wouldn't put him in there with no Jake Paul. No. He would get knocked out. He would get put to sleep, and Jake Paul wouldn't even need to give him a NyQuil, because he would get knocked out. But that was the first fight. The second fight, like I said, Luis Arias versus Jarrett Hurd, was a great fight. Was a war. Was a battle. Them guys went back and forth. Man, Jarrett Hurd, goddamn, how many times you gonna let a dude kick you with a looping right hand? He got caught with so many looping right hands. He couldn't miss him with that looping right hand, Luis Arias. They never made no adjustment. Goddamn, make him take that right hand away from him. See what he can do with the left hand. If he got a left hook or something, see if he can do that. Goddamn, even Logan Paul knew that Mayweather had that right hand, and he kind of took that away from him. Mayweather had to catch him with that left hook, and he was catching him with that left hook. He just, when he was really trying to sit down on him and punch him with that left hook, he could never find that left hook. He could never catch Logan Paul at the right moment. He was in position. But as far as Jarrett Hurd, man, your trainer got to make that adjustment, man. You know the dude catch you with the right hand, man, you got to take the right hand away from him, man. You got to start going towards your right to get away from that right hand. You see he got a right hand, you got to go towards your right. Take that right hand away from him. Make him do something else. See what his left hand got. You see his right hand is punishing you. He kept catching with that right hand time and time again. But the fight boiled down to, only reason why Jarrett Hurd was really in this fight, because he's much bigger. He was much bigger than Luis Arias. Much bigger. Both guys came in at around 158 pounds, you know, at the weigh-in. But by the time they got around to the fight night tonight, I say Jarrett Hurd was at least a light heavyweight. He was much bigger than Luis Arias. He had the size advantage, so he was able to absorb a lot of those punches, and he was able to hit Luis Arias with a lot of good body shots. And he had Luis Arias hurt multiple times. And it was due to his just being a much bigger, the much more physical guy in the ring. But Luis Arias landed more punches. That would have boiled down to. It was a very close fight. He knocked down Luis Arias in the second half of that fight, was able to close the gap. But I had to fight 6 rounds to 4 for Luis Arias with the knockdown by Jarrett Hurd had over Arias. I had it 95-94. I think one judge had it 97-93. Another judge had it 95-94. And then another judge, I think, might have had it, I don't know what other judge, I can't remember. But it was a split decision victory for Luis Arias. So the scorecards were different. And wasn't no scorecard the same, 97-93. One had 95-94. And I think another one, if I'm not mistaken, had it 96. Whatever. They had a 97-93, 95-94. And I think another judge had it up in that same range. But it was basically a 6 rounds to 4 type of fight, 5 rounds to 5 type of fight. If you had that, you might have had Jarrett Hurd winning with the knockdown. It was a very close fight. It was a lot of swing rounds in there. But the bottom line is, Arias was able to outwork Jarrett Hurd. He was able to, when he was tied. He was pretty much gassed after about the 4th round, Arias. But, you know, he has a lot of experience. He was able to close the gap, basically, lean on Jarrett Hurd and fight an inside fight. And basically fight an inside fight from round 4 through round 10. And he was able to get some good body shots. A lot of those shots didn't have a lot of steam on them, but still a lot of those shots counted. A lot of those shots were scoring. And he was able to basically outpoint Jarrett Hurd in a great fight, a highly competitive fight, a vicious fight. Both fighters were badly hurt at different times in that fight. It was just a real good fight. That fight saved this card. That fight is, I didn't pay for the fight, but if I was paid for that fight, paid for this pay-per-view fight, that's what was the only thing that would have made me able to sleep at night. Said, well, at least I spent some money on one good fight out of the 4 fights that we watched, man. That was just a good fight. Good fight. We will see what happens. We'll see what transpires. Wouldn't mind seeing a rematch between those 2 guys. Maybe Arias moves on into a different direction. The type of fight he fought, he took a lot of punishment. If I'm his team, I'd be like, look, let's sit back, let's wait, and let's try to go after the winner of Jermell Charlo versus Brian Castano. That's the fight's going to be for undisputed at 154 pounds. Let's shoot for that fight next. Because he's the type of guy with his style of fight, man, you got to strike while the iron's hot. It's not like you can say, oh, well, let's fight this guy, fight that guy, and see what happens later on. No, you got to strike while the iron's hot. He's been in a lot of wars. You know, he's got the raw end of stick on a lot of different decisions. Gabe Rosado fight was very close. Some people thought he won. You know, he lost another close fight to Michael Keeler. He got beat decisively by Daniel Jacobs. So right now, this is the biggest win of his career. He was excited after the fight, walking to the dressing room. He couldn't stop talking. So I'm kind of happy. I'm happy for him. But the thing about Jarrett Hurd is this is a sad situation for him. Sad situation. This is a 2 steps back. Not only a step back, this is 2 steps back in his career as he was looking to fight the winner of Brian Castano versus Jermell Charlo. He had been talking about that in the lead up to the Arias fight, that after he hopefully defeats Arias, that he wants the winner of that fight. But now he's going to have to go back to the drawing board. He got to understand, man, quit trying to be a boxer. Quit trying to fight off the back foot. Quit trying to be like a Mayweather or Bernard Hopkins. That's not your style, man. What got you the way you was you were a guy that was a pressure fighter, close the distance, using your size, using your weight, willing to absorb punches to get your punches off, knowing that you're the bigger guy, you would be able to wear down your opponent. You need to go back to that. Quit trying to be a boxer. It's like he's caught between 2 styles. By the time he figured out that boxing wasn't working on Luis Arias, after about 4 rounds, he started trying to, walk him down and start trying to put that pressure on him. But by that time, Arias had already gotten to a rhythm. You in a dogfight. You in a tug of war. You know what I'm saying? So the momentum is always on his side. If he did not believe before the fight, he definitely believed in the fight. He got a lot of success going on in the first 4 rounds. So, that's going to be a tough nut to crack now. And then that's exactly what happened. He tried to change up styles, switch styles, and he was able to have a lot of success. But due to that early hold that he put himself into in the first 4 rounds, he was never able to quite catch back up. That's ultimately lost a split decision victory. Now he's got to go back to the drawing board. But my advice to him is nix that little boxing style. Nix that trying to fight off the back foot. Nix that trying to become a technical skill boxer. Go back to being who you are, who in your heart you are, who you had your most success being. That's being a pressure fighter, a guy that's willing to absorb punches, take 2 punches to land 3 punches. Go back to that style, and you will have, hopefully you will have some of the success that you had in your first 24 fights when you were 24-0, not your first 23 fights when you were 23-0, not your last 3 fights now that you're 1-2, and you lost to J-Rock Hurd, J-Rock. You lost to J-Rock Williams, and you lost to Arias, and then you beat basically a 140-pounder, a guy that's never been on that big stage, a guy that's never been a big name in boxing. You beat him in a lackluster performance when you was implementing that style that you got now, as far as being a boxer, fighting off the back foot, jabbing, being a technical type of boxer. Go back to being what best suits you, Jarrett Hurd. That'll be my advice to you. So we will see what happens. We will see what transpires. But nevertheless, that was a great fight. And that fight saved this card, as everything else was kind of lackluster. Badu Jack took care of business. Beat a no-hoper in Corleone. That fight was kind of disappointing that it even happened in the first place. I was looking forward to seeing Badu Jack versus Jean Pascal. That first fight was a great matchup, a great fight, an entertaining fight. The pre-fight trash talk before those guys, what those guys was doing before this fight that was set to take place was epic, man. I was looking forward to this fight. I was like, man, I'm so excited. I'm more excited about the Badu Jack Jean Pascal fight more than I am about Mayweather versus Logan Paul. So when that fight got canceled due to Jean Pascal failing not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 PEDs in the systems. It's like he wanted to one-up Big Baby Miller, Gerald Big Baby Miller, who had 3 PEDs in the system. John Pascal said, look here, Big Baby, I'm going to one-up you. I'm going to one-better you. I'm going to have 4 PEDs in my system. And he was pulled from that fight, and he's probably looking at a lengthy suspension, unless he comes with some evidence or some kind of answers to why he had 4 banned substances in his system. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But Badu Jack took care of business as a guy that was doing a lot of grabbing. He was an awkward guy, man, doing a lot of grabbing. But you could tell when Badu Jack was touching him to the body, he didn't like those body shots. And he was able to finally break him down with a vicious body shot after knocking him down not only once but twice, and ultimately stopping Corleone and getting a decision win. Badu Jack need to be, and his team, they need to be looking at a title shot in this next fight. So we will see what happens. We will see what transpires. But if I'm his team, I'll be on the phone with Arthur Beterbiev, Joe Smith Jr., even Dimitri Bivol. I'll be trying to set up a fight with Badu Jack. Badu Jack is 37 years old, so there ain't no need for him to have another fight. Against another guy that's maybe a top 10 light heavyweight. He needs to be in the ring next with one of the champions. And if I'm his team, I'll be on the phone trying to set up a fight with one of the champions next. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Hit the thumbs up if you like the content of this video, and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend, and I holla.